All right, everybody, buckle up. Today, we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of supply chains.
Really exciting stuff. We're taking inspiration from Masood Khan's Supply Chain Savvy episode, and we'll unpack those key terms you've always kind of sort of wanted to know.
Right, like we hear these phrases thrown around, but what do they really mean?
Exactly. So consider this your crash
We'll
course.
make those aha moments happen. Ready to get supply chain savvy? Let's go. First up, let's talk strategy. You know, any good operation needs a solid plan.
Absolutely. Got to start with a foundation. We're talking supply chain management, or SCM as the cool kids call it. This is the big picture stuff. Think of it like orchestrating a product's entire journey.
From raw materials to the finished product in your
You
hand.
got it. Every single step along the way.
Okay, so then that's where logistics comes in, right?
You know it. This is all about making those goods move smoothly through the supply chain. We're talking trucks, ships, planes.
The whole shebang.
Exactly.
Mm.
But hold on, it's not just about moving stuff. It's also about having the right amount of stuff at the right time.
Cue inventory management.
Precisely. Because nobody wants a warehouse overflowing with last season's trends.
Right, definitely not. And to avoid that fashion faux pas, companies rely on demand forecasting.
Right. It's like predicting the future of what people want.
Like having a crystal ball for consumer trends. Sign me up.
Right. But instead of magic, they're using data and analytics. And speaking of savvy operators, we got to talk about procurement. These are the folks who, well, procure everything. They're like the ultimate deal makers.
You're the ones scoring those bulk discounts, so we can all feel a little less guilty about adding to cart, right?
Yeah, you got it. They're laser focused on getting the best possible price without compromising on quality. Because, quality matters.
Huge. So we've talked about the planning phase. Now, how about we jump into the actual operations of it all?
Let's do it. And a huge part of that is supplier relationship management. Yeah. This is all about keeping those suppliers happy.
It's all about relationships, even in the supply chain world.
Oh, absolutely. Building those strong, reliable partnerships is super important. You want suppliers you can trust and who can deliver.
Makes sense. And on the topic of delivering, let's talk about just-in-time delivery.
Ah, JIT.
Ah.
It's a popular one, but, it's had its challenges lately, right? The whole idea is to have those supplies delivered precisely when you need them.
So minimal waste and maximum efficiency.
Exactly. But as we saw with things like, the semiconductor shortage,
Yeah, that threw a wrench in a lot of plans.
it did. And it really highlighted the need for, what's that word again?
Risk management. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes. You see, that's our next category, performance and optimization, along with some other big ones like sustainability.
Okay, so risk management. That's all about thinking ahead, anticipating those potential problems and having a plan B and C and maybe even D.
Exactly. Because as we've learned, things happen. Pandemics, natural disasters, you name it. And in today's world, you can't talk about supply chains without talking about sustainability.
So true. It's about minimizing that environmental impact and ethical sourcing. These are things consumers really care about these days.
Absolutely. It's not just a buzzword anymore. It's a necessity.
Right. It's about doing business the right way. And of course, we've got to mention capacity planning. Knowing how much you can realistically produce is key.
Couldn't agree more. It's like understanding your limits and planning accordingly. And then there's total cost of ownership.
This one sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Okay, so imagine you're buying, let's say, a new phone. You see the price tag, but that's not the whole story. Total cost of ownership looks at all those hidden expenses down the line.
Interesting. Give me an example.
Sure, like maintenance, repairs, even the environmental impact of its production.
Wow. It really makes you think beyond that initial purchase, huh? Okay, so we've covered planning, operations, and performance. What's next?
Now we're diving into the world of data.
Data is king. Let's talk about it.
All right, so first up, we've got those key performance indicators, or KPIs. These are the metrics that measure success. Like, are we on track? Are we meeting our goals?
It's all about accountability. Love it.
Right. And speaking of keeping things in check, we've got supply chain visibility.
This sounds like having superpowers.
Kind of. Imagine having X-ray vision into your supply chain, knowing where your products are at any given moment.
Talk about staying organized. So how does this all translate to the customer experience?
Well, that's where order fulfillment comes in. This is how that magical process happens when you click Buy Now and a package shows up on your doorstep.
Like magic. But we know it's not magic. It's a whole lot of hard work and coordination.
For sure. And let's not forget, The unsung heroes of the supply chain world.
Hmm.
Transportation.
Trucks, trains, planes, and maybe even drones soon. Who knows?
Exactly. And all these moving parts, they need to work together. That's where supply chain integration comes in. It's about seamless communication and collaboration across every single stage.
Got it. Everything's connected.
Exactly. And last but not least, we have lead time. Basically, it's the time it takes to complete a process. Shorter lead times are always the goal.
Makes sense. The faster, the better. So there you have it, folks. We've covered a lot of ground here, but the real takeaway, I think, goes beyond just knowing the definitions.
I totally agree. It's about understanding the impact of all these interconnected parts.
Right. Like, remember total cost of ownership. Sometimes going for the cheapest option might seem like a good idea at first, but
But it can have hidden costs down the line, not just financially, but also ethically and environmentally.
so it's about making conscious choices as consumers and supporting businesses that align with our values. It really does make you think, doesn't it?
It really does. And, we've only just scratched the surface here. There's always more to learn and explore in the world of supply chains.
So true. And we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What surprised you? What must-know supply chain term would you add to our list? Let us know. Until next time, happy diving.